Here's an example of the Dracula pattern with cloud to local large language model knowledge transfer. And I've personally been doing this with Bedrock as the router and then taking information and moving it to local workloads. So this is a very interesting way to think about models. If we look at the left circle here, we have Claude 3 Opus in the cloud. We have Ollama running Qwen 2.5 Coder locally. And then we have a prompt being optimized. So you keep going back and forth and iterating until you finally get the prompt to be the same. And you can have the more expensive model training the free model until you get exactly the workflow that you want. So part of this is that you want to write and test initial prompts with Claude. You want to move those successful prompts to local Ollama installation. You want to refine those prompts while watching the quality degradation, and then iterate until the local result, which again is free, matches the cloud quality. So if we take a look at some of those things, you're going to reduce the cloud cost. You're going to be able to use local runtimes. You're going to move from pay per call to pay per server. And in fact, the server could be something you already have. And so this is a great way to remove that variable cost. And if you look at how you would start this, it's going to be cloud-based API calls to the Bedrock system, and then the local Ollama is running inside of your data center or maybe in your office. And so you have to make sure that you have the hardware that's acceptable. Now, it's possible, in fact, if you have batch-based workflows, maybe CPU is okay. If you want to have faster latency, though, an NVIDIA GPU would work. Now, why would you want to do this? Some of the benefits would be data privacy and security, no internet requirement. Once you've got this set up, you have predictable costs, you have full control of your infrastructure. Now, some of the challenges are going to be hardware, as I mentioned earlier. The initial setup and complexity, you have to understand how to do things like validate your prompts, turn them into code versus human language. You have to manage the model updates. Maybe there's new versions that you want to update and test the prompts. But in general, I've definitely done this and I can vouch for it. The way to do this is start with simple prompts, test thoroughly in the cloud first, document what works, what doesn't, plan for those infrastructure changes, and then monitor the quality metrics during the transfer. So when would you want to use this pattern? To wrap up, you want to reduce API costs. You want to have data privacy requirements met. For example, you may not be able to use the cloud. You may have to use a local model for legal or for health regulations, and you want to have this offline capability. So some of the common pitfalls would be skipping the cloud testing phase, just hoping it'll work, underestimating the hardware needs, maybe not documenting the prompt changes. But in general, the Dracula pattern is a legitimate pattern that is very powerful, that in fact solves many problems that exist from only using cloud-based workflows.